And what did we find in our study at Florida? We saw the reduction in TNF-alpha in the bloodstream at days 3 and 14. Again, the orange line referring to choline is no change over time, whereas if the control cows, we followed them and their TNF-alpha went up. So it was the choline by day interaction there. And likewise, the other pro-inflammatory cytokine, interleukin-6, also was lower in choline-fed cows, again, suggesting that the animal was under less stress, having to deal with less stress, possibly because of choline's role in the animal's health. One other factor regarding the immune system is that these two cytokines I just spoke about, which are produced by the blood macrophages, which are some of the early responders to health challenges in the cow, those are picked up by the liver, and the liver then synthesizes an acute phase protein called fibrinogen. And if we have fibrinogen too high circulating in the bloodstream, it can have some negative influence on vascular function. And so we saw lower TNF-alpha and lower interleukin-6 in our cows, and sure enough, at least in that first week, we saw lower concentrations of fibrinogen compared to the control animals. So moving from immunity, and let's look at reproduction quickly. We had 93 studies, so not a huge study, a huge number of cows to look at in terms of reproductive responses. Nevertheless, when we looked at pregnancy rate at the first insemination, around 77 days in milk, these are all timed AI system, that if we had choline fed during that transition period, the first service conception rate was 41%, which tended to be greater than the no choline group at around 24%. When we followed the pregnancy rate of the cows through 40 weeks, the numerical advantage was still there for the choline group, but it was no longer significant. This Cox proportion plot, when we're trying to determine days open, to see if there was a difference in days open between the two groups of cows. So here we have all cows open at 0 days in milk, and here's where they were bred. And since we got more cows conceiving there and pregnant with choline at the first insemination, the open cows had dropped down here, and that advantage kind of was maintained for most of the time period, but they caught up together over here. So when we calculated the average days open, it was 143 for the no choline and 20 days less for the choline group at 123, but it wasn't significant there at the 14% level. Now, why might choline help improve pregnancy rate? We know that choline reserves are depleted in lactation, at least early lactation for sure, through the fetus and into the milk. And some interesting work recently with choline in the human. This group here, when they administered supplemental choline to women, this increased the global methylation in the placenta, affecting the DNA. And so choline is a good candidate for modifying the embryo's development program to establish a pregnancy, to reduce pregnancy loss, and enhance the characteristics of the resultant offspring. So there's some work in the non-ruminant area that would be encouraging that we might see something in the cow, but we need more work done. I've simply here summarized what I could find in reporting of the effect of RP choline on pregnancy rate, these 5 studies, and the number of cows here, and the control and RP choline treatments here. So these first 2 reported higher pregnancy rates for the choline-fed group, only 62 and 40 cows in those 2 studies. This third study, numerically higher with 27 cows. The fourth one here, done in a field study in California with Jose Santos and Dr. Lima, Again, numerically better. A lot of cows in that study, 329, but they weren't significantly different in the pregnancy rate. Notice that all 4 of these first studies fed the RP choline starting in the prepartum period, but they fed a lot longer than what we typically see recommended or practiced in the field. They're feeding out to 80 days or 140 days in that second study. And that may be a possible reason why in that second farm that Jose and Dr. Lima performed with primiparous cows, 525 of them, they didn't see any numerical or statistical benefit to feeding RP choline in that one. They only fed the RP choline prepartum and stopped at the day of calving.
Dairying is more than a job, it's a calling. It's a lifestyle, one that takes dedication and real commitment. At Belchem, we've stood beside you for 50 years, providing the real results you can count on, results that help you meet your goals and protect that lifestyle, supporting you as the real face of dairy. That's our passion. That's our pledge to you. That's Belchem.